thank you to be here in Italy and welcome back because we saw you a few years ago and now we are happy to meet you. And what's up anyway?
We have a new album. It's
Yes.
called Wildcat. It's out March 3rd. Today, actually, the single got released.
Oh, really?
The first single, My Little Rock and Roll. And so it's kind of exciting times, in our camp right now, and we've been doing press all week for it, and the reaction we've been receiving from everybody is very favorable, positive, and it's been good. So we're happy about it.
We listened to your album already and we like it very much.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Good to know.
Yes.
Good.
And
Check.
yes, check it. And so the release and the new tour, right? And Italy is not included in the tour
Not
at the
yet,
moment.
not yet, not at the moment, but it definitely will be included.
Are you working on it?
We aren't, but other people are for us.
Oh, great.
We are here doing press for it, so we've been doing lots of press for in Italy for this new record, and I think it's definitely going to yield more shows in Italy. It's going to help us.
And what's happened during the making of your new album? New sounds, new things, any particular?
Actually, not new. For the first time in our career history of discography records, we've kept with all this, kept everything. So we have the same lineup still. We're all still together. We have the same producer, Eric Ratz, and Eric works out of certain studios which we went to, the same studios that we went to for Fire Music. So I think it was these consistent elements that made it very conducive to just concentrating on the songs and just concentrating on the album and the music instead of, if it's a new studio, getting used to the studio, if it's a new producer, getting used to how they work. We'd already done that through in Fire Music, so we just could just work on the songs.
You are on stage since a very long time now. What's happened during these years? You changed, your music changed or not?
Yeah. I mean, 20 years is a long time.
Yes.
But we're still a rock band. It changed slight enough for people, if you really, really like our band and you really listen to all the records, you can hear the changes. But for anyone who just gives us a cursory listen, it's still just hard rock music. So we started off in the mid-90s as a garage rock band, which is basically it was a bigger scene back then than it is today. And eventually bands like the Hives and the White Stripes took that music overground. But in the beginning, we were just a garage rock band. We came over to Europe, and there was bands like the Helicopters and the Backyard Babies who kind of had already played enough to have an audience, and that audience was already up to date on this new brand of Scandinavian rock. That when we came, it made it easy for people to get us. And so we never looked back. We just kept playing, and we got better at our instruments, and we got better at songwriting, and more comfortable with our band, and more confident with our band, that the music changed from a garage rock, kind of garage punk sound to a more defined hard rock sound.
And talking about your new album, Wildcat, which is the meaning of this title?
There's no real meaning to
No?
it. Yeah, there's actually a lyric that he had in one of the songs, and in the studio I said, I think we should call that song Wildcat. And then we called the song Wildcat, and then when we submitted the titles of the album to the people who were doing the graphic design for it, one of the ideas that he came back with...
That's very nice anyway.
Yeah, one of the ideas that he came back with was the cat.
Yeah.
And it said Danko Jones, and then underneath it said name of album. So we looked at it, and he said that he was inspired by Wildcat. Well, I'm like, Wildcat is the name.
Wildcat
so,
is
The name.
So he did all the thinking for us.
Yeah.
This one here.
Which is your favorite song in this album and why?
My favorite song would be You Are My Woman, which is a real thin, it's our first love song, I guess. And,
It really is. Yeah, I think so. In all the years we've been putting
So
out
why?
records, never put out a love song.
Why?
The song called for it. I mean, you know, you just start writing the lyrics and it just can't. I don't know. That song actually, lyric-wise, just kind of wrote itself.
Is it the same for you? The same song?
No, although that is I really like that song as well. For me, I don't know. It might be the title track, Wildcat, or My Little Rock and Roll, or Let's Start Dancing.
They're all y'all.
I love them all.
You love all.
So to answer your question, yeah, you're my woman too.
So good. So we are looking for to hear these songs on stage because you know the record is different than playing
Sure.
live.
Yeah, yeah.
And which is your best crowd around the world?
Best crowds. I mean, when we've played in Italy, I mean, the crowd has always been great. It's always been a great crowd. I wish we could play more places in Italy. I wish we can come here more often.
You wish?
Scandinavia, of course, this is where we got our start. Our label was from there. Our management's from there. Our friends and bands and who are friends are all there.
Yeah.
But Germany has always been a good place for hard rock music as well. The crowds are really crazy and wild there. But
So do you have many friends around the world? So every place
we're
is
very
nice.
popular.
Very
We know
popular.
is it
Very famous,
half
popular.
Italian? Oh,
I'm all Italian.
He's all Italian.
it's all Italian.
No, sono tutto calabrese.
Che è diverso.
È molto diverso. L'italiano lo
You
capisco, ma non lo
understand?
parlo tanto.
I know what he's talking about.
Calabrese doc.
Holiday in Calabria and holidays in Calabria and
Yeah,
things
sometimes.
good. And I know that you during your musician life as musician, you did many cooperation featuring. And if I say, for example, Lemmy, what you can say to us?
I mean, Lemmy was, Motorhead are a definite influence on the band, more even aesthetically than musically even. The fact that we're a trio, the fact that we dress in black, the fact that we play rock and roll and are proud of playing rock and roll and state that we play rock and roll is something Lemmy did as well. Even though he got categorized as heavy metal often, he always stated that they played rock and roll, which I always made note of, and I was always very, very aware of. You know, I think it went over the heads of a lot of people who heard him say that. But he was also very kind to our band. They took us out on tour. They didn't have to. They brought me on stage to sing with them. They didn't have to do that. Lemmy was in our videos.
He didn't have to do that.
Didn't have to do that.
He was in our book. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lemmy is very, the thing is, over the course of this band's lifespan, we've been passed over by every record label. They didn't want to sign us. They were not interested, whoever it was. And it used to frustrate me that they couldn't see it. But Lemmy saw it, and I'd rather have Lemmy like us than all of those people. So it's great that, we got the recognition from the right places, So I'd rather have Lemmy be into our band than someone at a record label who doesn't like our bands. That's perfect.
Good. And is there some curiosity you want to tell to our readers and about you as band, as people, what you do during the tour?
Well, another thing that we're going to put out this year, Danko writes some columns and some opinion pieces, and this year he's collected all those articles and has had them illustrated, and he's going to be putting out a book. We're going to self-publish the book so that's going to be out. It's going to be called
I've Got Something to Say, which is the first line of Last Caress by the Misfits, so it's just an ode to the Misfits. Not ripping anyone off. No, but it's just, yeah, like JC was saying, an anthology of all the best. I chose the best articles I've written over the past 10 years. Got some of my friends who were in bands who illustrate. So Valiant himself from Valiant Thor is gonna, he did 4 pages of illustration. Damien Abraham from Fucked Up did an illustration. Erie Vaughn from Sam Hain Danzig did an illustration. And Juan Montoya from Torch. Then there's other illustrators like Gary Dunn, Mary Fleener, Gary Taxali, Fiona Smith, Brian Walsby, Richard Conley. Just illustrators helping. Duff McKagan wrote the foreword. So it's a very collaborative effort that's coming out. It was meant to come out last year, but I'm glad we just kind of pushed it to this year. It was supposed to come out to commemorate the 20 years that we've been a band, but
We had to make a record instead.
yeah,
You should be proud of it.
I got busier.
Because
So that's coming out. Hopefully it will come out before the summer or maybe during the summer of this year.
Oh, can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Just because it's also a collaborative effort, as much as it is just my writing, it's also a collaborative effort.
Thank you for your patience and
Yeah, no worries.
and for everything and what else?
Saluta ai lettori di Rock Rebel Magazine da noi, che siamo Danko Jones, John Calabrese e Danko Jones.
Hey!
Ascoltate il nostro nuovo disco,
Wildcat.
Wildcat, che uscirà il 3 di marzo.
March 3rd. Positive, glowing review on Rock Rebel Magazine.